Ray Wheatley for Fightnews. I'm here with two-time champion, Lovemore Ndou, in his Sydney office where he works as a lawyer, one of Sydney's best. And you're doing very well for yourself, Lovemore.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you.
You've done well, mate. You've been a two-time world champion. You come from humble beginnings back in South Africa. Can you just tell me about your early life back in South Africa? What part of South Africa were you born and live?
Look, I was born in a small town called Messina, which is just right at the border between South Africa and Zimbabwe. My father came, actually, my father's family actually came from Zimbabwe, and my mother was South African. They met in South Africa, and I was born in Messina.
Okay, how many brothers and sisters?
There's 7 siblings.
Yeah.
So, it was really tough growing up. I come from a very poor family.
Yeah. Food?
When I say poor, I mean, there were days where, you would go, the day would go by without a meal or just one meal a day. That's,
That was common?
It was common, and,
Clothes?
Clothes, I used to walk to school barefoot with no school shoes. Yeah. That's just how it was.
So school every day? Did you go to school every day?
I started school when I was 9 years old.
Right.
Which is, normal. It's too late to start school. At the time I started school, I already had a job as well. I would finish school and go clean other people's gardens to make a bit of money to pay for my school fees and cover my school uniforms.
So life was a battle.
Life was a battle, apart from that, with...
But it was common there, right? Most families were doing it hard.
A lot of families were doing it hard.
Yeah.
It's just how it was, with South Africa, with the history of apartheid in South Africa, it was just hard for a black man to make a living in his own country.
Yeah. You heard a lot about Nelson Mandela as you were growing up?
Look, he's my hero. He's my lifetime hero. Anyone that grew up in South Africa knew about Nelson Mandela, even when he was still locked up in jail. We knew why he was in jail. We knew what he was fighting for. So yeah, even as a kid, I knew a lot about Nelson.
And he gave you inspiration.
He's my inspiration.
Yeah. Now you decided that you were a soccer player early. First time?
Yeah. Look, I tried a lot of sports when I was young.
Yeah.
I was always into sports, but I was a really good soccer player. But I had serious anger issues, and that didn't help, because every time I played soccer and somebody played, rough, I'll turn around and knock them out, and then I'll get suspended. But because I was so good, they'll keep bringing me back, and then I'll knock somebody out again, I get suspended. I remember on this one occasion, I knocked this kid out cold, and I got kicked out. They got this security guard to escort me out of the field. When he was walking out with me, he said to me, "Kid, I watch you all the time. You're a good player, but you got serious anger issues. Why don't you come out and try boxing?" So I said, "Well, I've got nothing to lose. Why not?" I didn't know this guy. He was a boxing trainer. I just knew him as a security guard. But it turns out, all he did was, he was always looking for children who had issues and try and guide them through boxing.
Yeah.
So I went to his gym the following day, and there was a number of other kids, new recruits, but he didn't teach us any boxing on the first day. It was only hard exercises, and within 15 to 20 minutes, some of the kids have already walked out. At the end, there was about 2 or 3 of us left, and I was one of those. Then he said to us, "Look, I'll see you tomorrow." Of that group, I was the only one that came back the next day. So he said, "Oh, you're back. Now I'm going to teach you how to fight." His name was Divas, Divas Chira. We used to call him Makaza, and this guy went on to become like a brother figure to me. Okay. And when he started teaching me the basics of boxing, he said to me, "Lovemore, the first thing we gotta work on is your anger, because you're going nowhere with this." And he told me, I said to him, "Oh, no, I need to be angry if I'm gonna fight." He said, "No, it doesn't work." So he put me in sparring sessions, and I realized each time I was getting angry, I was getting hit more. So he said, you know, you gotta work on your anger. So eventually I decided to listen. You know, I realized each time, you know, I was listening, I was keeping my calm, you know, I would react and, you know, be able to, you know,
so they help you calm down?
it helped me calm down.
Okay.
And
control your
control my anger, and it changed me as a person.
Sure.
Because, you know, growing up in South Africa, you know, had I not changed my, you know, my ways, I'll probably be dead by now, or probably locked up in jail.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, in a way,
it saved you.
It saved me.
Yeah, boxing
in many ways. You know, and even today, I'm able to do what I do as a lawyer and remain calm.
Yeah, it's great. So it's helped you out right through your life.
As a person.
Yeah. Now, so you remained an amateur boxer up to you were 21?
Yes, I had about 68 amateur fights. I was 4-time South African champ. I won 66 of those fights, and 58 of those by knockout.
Very good. And did you have the one trainer right through your amateur career?
I had the same trainer, but there was times where, you know,
there'd be other trainers.
There'll be other trainers, you know. For example, when we had to get into, you know, state titles, where we call provincial titles over there, you know, you have like a provincial trainer. And then I started working also with a very good old man from Vandam. His name was William Madzibandira. You know, he was like, again, he was like a father figure to me. And, you know, he would make sure I attend to all the, you know, amateur fights. He would make sure, like, I would also actually spend almost every weekend at his place. And, you know, he would take me to the boxing gym, and so that's how. That's
great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, did you travel abroad as an amateur boxer?
No, we couldn't. South Africa was banned. You know, was banned from international competition at the time.
So you turned professional 1993.
No, been around 1993.
Yeah. Who was your trainer for your first professional fight?
My first professional fight, I was trained by Gary Coutier's brother. Gary Coutier is a former heavyweight champion of the world. His brother was training me for the first fight, and then from there on, from my second fight on, I started training with Harold Volbracht. Harold is one of the best trainers ever. And
a former world-rated welterweight.
Himself, he was a great fighter himself.
And you used him. He came over when you fought Saul Alvarez in Mexico.
Yeah, he did. You know, in fact, towards the end of my career, I you know, I ended training with Harold, and I won my IBO world title
with Harold in the corner.
With Harold in the corner.
That's great.
And you know, we traveled to the UK, Mexico.
So you travelled to Australia after you probably had 10 pro fights when you came to Australia.
I think about 11.
11 fights. You fought Cliff Samadin on I think it was the Zoo Roger Mayweather undercard.
Yes.
You went back to Africa.
Then I came back.
1 year later, you came back. Brought your family back?
Yeah, I brought my wife and my daughter.
Came back and then settled in Australia.
Settled, yeah.
You fought some outstanding Australian lightweights. Justin Rousseau.
Great guy.
Yeah, and so you were victorious over Justin Rousseau. And then you went on to get your crack at the title, the world title, in 2007, where you beat Neufeld van Raven, stopped him in 12 rounds. 11 rounds, yeah. And you had some great fights after that, mate. But during that time, you were studying to be a lawyer.
I was.
Yeah, it's amazing how you found the time to study, and then it was a 4-year course?
Yeah, I did a double degree. At first, I did law and communications, so it took me 5 years to complete those 2 degrees. But for me, you know, I've always wanted, you know, I grew up, you know, being taught or being told that, you know, education is the power. And I knew, you know, I would have to have something to fall back on, you know, when my boxing career finishes. You know, you can't stay in the sports forever. So yeah, I always wanted to do something with my life, and that's why, you know, even when I was fighting, I decided, you know, to go back and study. you know, look, I think I've done, you know, I've done really good. You know, I've got 6 university degrees now.
Could you tell me what those degrees are,
You
Lovemore?
know, I did communications, I did law, I did psychology. I've got a master's in criminal law. I've got a master's in human rights law and policy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm currently doing my master's in family law, and I intend to do my my PhD.
Good on you, mate. So you're practicing in family law and criminal law?
Those are my main areas of practice at the moment.
Yeah. Your office is at
It's in Rockdale.
in Rockdale, 93A Railway Parade?
Railway Street.
Yeah, Railway Street. And you've got other lawyers working with you at the moment?
Yeah, there's some lawyers working here. There's a number of lawyers working out of this office.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Lovemore. You've certainly made you've made a great life for yourself, mate, and your family.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
wishing you continued success.
Thank you, Ray. And I hope I serve as an inspiration to to some fighters out there, or any sportsmen in general. You need to realize you are not going to be in the sport forever. You gotta have something to fall back on. And I love what I do. As a family lawyer, I like helping people out. As a criminal lawyer, I enjoy what I do. So yeah.
Good on you, Lovemore, and I'm wishing you continued success, mate.
Thank you, Ray.
Cheers, mate.